Hi, everyone, and welcome to the evolution of process automation from RPA to intelligent automation and AI. I'm Dan Goodstein. I head up RPA, the Institute for RPA and Artificial Intelligence. Thanks for joining today. You know, our industry is in flux, right? We've gone from RPA to intelligent automation and now full-on AI with large language models. There's even talk of LAMs coming. So what does it mean for you if you're just starting out? What does it mean for you if you're trying to scale your existing automation programs? We're going to discuss it all today and learn from both experts in the industry, as well as hear from some of their client examples and client stories. So looking forward to today's session, and thanks to IBA Group for sponsoring the webinar today. Very briefly, for those of you who've never been to an RPA AI event, we are an industry neutral professional association focused on automation and AI. We've got over 130,000 members now worldwide, all coming to us for education, networking, and advice. So if you are on the customer side and you're looking for help, feel free to reach out to our team at any point. We'll talk a little bit about what IBA does as well today. If you're on the provider side, we help you get the word out on your offerings to our members. But we're really here for you all as practitioners. So we're here as a resource. Never hesitate to ask us questions or let us know what you're working on. So let me go around the table and allow all of our panelists to briefly introduce themselves, and then I'll hand it to Sergey to introduce himself and IBA Group. Maybe Stuart, we can start with you.
Certainly. Good afternoon, all. My name is Stuart McMillan, Digital Transformation Director at Amplio Technologies. I assist clients in realizing significant business value by improving their processes with strategic business process management methodologies and the application of commercially valuable emerging technologies such as automation and AI. Great to be with you today.
Thanks, Stuart. Lucy?
Nice to meet you. My name is Lucy. I'm business developer for IBA in the regions of United Kingdom, Gulf countries, and Pacific Asia. And I'm crazy with artificial intelligence, robotic process automation, and had been engaged in different projects with the global vendors approximately for 7 years. Thank you. Enjoy.
Thanks, Lucy. And Sergey?
Hello, my name is Sergey Zlobich. I've been working in IT for more than 20 years, and the last 7 years in RPA field. I worked as a regular RPA developer, platform support specialist, architect, and now I am a product owner of Easy RPA platform. And I am here to answer any technical questions you may have.
Thank you. And Sergey, I'll hand it off to you. Give everybody a little bit of your background and introduce us to IBA Group.
Thank you, Dan. My name is Sergey Zmaka. I'm Vice President with IBA Group in North America and responsible for operations of the company in United States, Canada, and other countries in North America. I'm glad to introduce you to IBA Group and our journey with robotic and intelligent process automation. IBA Group is a global digital business transformation service provider, and we offer services in robotic process automation and several IT services, including data management, analytics, AI, custom enterprise application development, IT security, and several others. Our team consists of about 2,000 professionals. The company was established in the year 1993 by IBM. The ownership has changed in 2000. And since this time, we expanded to serve clients in more than 50 countries and in various industries, including banking, insurance, manufacturing, telecommunications, healthcare, and many more. IBA has been recognized by International Association of Outsourcing Professionals as the leader in the Global Outsourcing 100 for 11 consecutive years. And we've got multiple awards for innovative IT solutions. We operate globally. Headquarters are in Prague, Czech Republic, and offices in 15 countries. Our development delivery centers are located in 9 countries, including Czech Republic, Bulgaria, Poland, and Lithuania. Our journey with robotic process automation started by providing services based on platforms of leaders in the category, like Blue Prism, WorkFusion, UiPath, Automation Anywhere. And we enhance efficiency of operations for our clients and improved accuracy. And after several years of extensive experience with these platforms, we decided and developed our own Java-based platform. The idea was to complement the existing low-code and no-code solutions. Our platform provides greater flexibility and more customizations options, first of all. And the big advantage is significant cost savings. First of all, it's savings due to zero-cost license model we use. We started with our platform from simple automation like data entries and data processing, but the real transformation began when we started to introduce artificial intelligence solutions in our RPA. With machine learning, natural language processing, intelligent document processing, we advanced to intelligent process automation. And it brought a number of improvements to our platforms. First of all, it enhanced capabilities of the platform. Traditional RPA was limited to rule-based processes mostly. And with intelligent automation, we have risen above this limitation. With leveraging machine learning, our intelligent automation platform can handle now complex decision-making tasks. Second, we expanded the scope of available to our platform. Now our platform can handle not only structured data, it can handle unstructured data. It can handle structured text like emails, documents, images. And also its cognitive abilities resulted in automation more complex processes and automation of end-to-end processes, which we could not do before with simple RPA. And obviously, introduction of artificial intelligence resulted in enhanced efficiency and accuracy of the operations. Another point, it's increased scalability. With business growth, more and more tasks need to be automated, and we see that we can do it much easier with integration of artificial intelligence. And all this improvement to the platform brought certain benefits to business. First of all, it's cost reduction due to higher efficiency, reduced errors, optimized processes. And we see more opportunity for proactive management with introduction of machine learning to our platform. Platform has access to data in real time. And this data and analysis of this data is available to the management to provide proactive decision. And finally, it improved customer experience. The platform allows providing more personalized service to our customers, and it provides faster response to our customers. And obviously, the customer satisfaction grows. We continue to develop our platform constantly, and we integrate new tools, new technologies. At the moment, we are working on integrating generative AI in our platform, and it allows to increase the services we provide to our clients. Thank you again for joining this webinar, and I hope the information you hear today will be useful for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergey. It's interesting. You've been through the journey yourself, right, over the last bunch of years. Before I hand it off to Stuart, who's going to talk about some client examples and some strategies around some of these technologies, I want to take a couple of quick poll questions from the audience. So the first question is, where are you on your RPA journey? Are you just starting exploring? Are you implementing solutions? Are you trying to scale across the organization? Would you rate yourself as mature, or are you just here because you're curious? Sergey, while we're waiting for those polls to come in, where do you find your customers? Are they coming to you because they're just starting out, or are they a little bit more mature and looking for help with scale?
It's both. Basically, we see both types of customers, those who are just looking at the RPA, like investigations options it can provide, and we see mature customers who already have like established RPA platforms, and basically we can kind of complement, as I mentioned, existing solutions and integrate with existing solutions easily.
Got it. Makes sense. Okay. And second question is, what is your biggest obstacle you face in your current process? Is it manual workload? Is it frequent errors? Is it slow processing times, poor visibility, or compliance and regulatory issues? I think you have to pick one. Is that right? So you got to pick the biggest one. The reality is it's probably a bit of a sliding scale. Stuart, I don't want to steal your thunder too much, but what was it for you? What was the starting point for you?
I think for me, coming from a BPM background, the biggest issue is always identifying value, which is the most significant process that links with your business strategy. Once we can find those, we know we've got our high impact processes. That's where we should focus most of our efforts.
Yeah, makes sense. So let's see where everybody is right now. It's looking like a horse race between others. So that's interesting. I think that's evolved as people are trying to figure out new use cases. But I guess the winner then is high manual workload, about 30% of the audience. So makes sense to me. Stuart, let me hand it off to you. Help us with some strategies and some customer examples. I'm looking forward to some of your thoughts on this.
Certainly, happy to. Good afternoon. Thanks everyone for taking the time to be with us today. I'd like to explore the transformative journey from robotic process automation to a fully autonomous enterprise. So firstly, so we're all on the same page, let's just quickly define RPA. I'm sure we've all heard it and seen it before, but essentially robotic process automation involves using software bots to work on the user interface, and that's important. And there are two main types of bots. There are attended bots and unattended bots. Attended bots assist humans in completing their tasks, whereas unattended bots operate autonomously with minimal human intervention. And RPA has been a great asset to many organizations, and in partnership with IBA Group, we've assisted numerous clients in releasing significant value through the design, development, and deployment of RPA interventions. However, that's not to say that RPA is not without several key limitations. Firstly, it's brittle. As I mentioned, it works on the user interface, and they're prone to breaking with any changes to the user interface. RPA interventions can be power hungry, performance can be slow and resource intensive, and there is no learning ability. It cannot adapt over time to any changes in the business process, and it has high maintenance needs because of that to keep the bots operational. Now, this is where the need for intelligent automation comes in. Intelligent automation goes beyond RPA by using hyperautomation and AI technologies such as natural language processing, intelligent document processing, machine learning, and generative AI. Natural language processing allows processing of human language in voice or text form, enabling interaction with unstructured data. Intelligent document processing allows the processing of both digital and physical documents. Machine learning possesses the ability to process data to provide decision-making and predictive capabilities. And generative AI now refers to a class of AI models that can generate new content. whether that be text, audio, video, or graphical. They learn patterns in the data and produce new data based on these learnings. So in order to better understand these technologies and how they work together, it's sometimes helpful to anthropomorphize them. So if we can imagine RPA as the hands, as any work we would do on a computer, this can execute repetitive tasks such as keyboard and mouse inputs. Natural language processing represents the mouth that interprets and generates human language. Intelligent document processing acts as our eyes, extracting data from various documentation, various document formats. Machine learning and generative AI serve as the brain, responsible for reasoning, learning, and self-improvement. And when combined, these technologies create a holistic digital worker capable of self-learning and rectification. And this convergence will lead to a fully automated enterprise where automation orchestrates entire processes, creating efficiency and adaptability, new ways of working, and new business models. To manage these digital workers across software platforms, there is a requirement for a unified automation orchestration platform. And this is where Easy RPA from IBA Group comes in. It goes beyond simple repetitive automation, integrating with the hyperautomation universe we just discussed, combining these emerging technologies to provide a single platform to orchestrate your entire organization. But that's not to say there are not challenges when undertaking any software project. I'm sure you've all got experience with that, and there are the challenges that we've all faced and battle scars that we all wear. In order to overcome this, we've developed our digital transformation flywheel, which helps us to understand the process, the ongoing process of implementing software and technology into our business, allowing us to effectively deploy, manage the change, improve our business operations. And as it's a flywheel, it maintains momentum as we go. It's not just a one and done. It's a journey that we will all go on. And as the technologies evolve, we will continue to go on these journeys. And because it's a circle, we can join this at any point and jump onto the flywheel and start to add value to our business and start to overcome some of these challenges and improve our businesses for the future. So I'd like to briefly highlight some of the typical challenges both we and our clients have faced and overcome using these methodologies. As I briefly mentioned to Dan during the polling questions, identifying value is a significant challenge. Often businesses struggle to pinpoint where automation will deliver the most benefit. And this can lead to investments in projects that don't yield the expected returns, potentially causing frustration, wasted resources, and maybe a lack of sponsorship off the back of that. And there's a huge issue in the marketplace with lack of skills and talent availability, because this is the rapid pace of change of technologies. This is becoming a common issue. Recruitment and retention of the relevant skills and staying abreast of the relevant skills necessary is a huge issue for organizations. There's a constant demand for highly skilled professionals who can design, implement, and maintain these systems, and finding and retaining them can be difficult and costly. This is partly why Easy RPA was built on the universal language of Java, because it's a much easier, much more common language that we can find talent for, as opposed to having to learn specific interfaces or specific programming languages. Thirdly, coupled with that is choosing the right technology provider. This can be pretty daunting with numerous options available, each with its own set of features, advantages, limitations. Organizations can find themselves unsure of which provider best suits their needs. And this indecision or appraisal process can delay projects and increase costs over time. Coupled with the technology providers, a lot of these come with significant license fees, which erode ROI. These can undermine the expected benefits of a project, and it's absolutely crucial to carefully identify the total cost of ownership and ensure that projected benefits outweigh these total costs, because there is a real issue with license fee drag over time, especially once we have vendor lock-in. We're potentially suffering with those for many years to come while we're still trying to run these automations. And we also suffer from integration issues. New automation technologies come through, and these need to seamlessly integrate with the existing platform and suite of systems and processes. And any incompatibility can lead to disruptions and additional expenses to try and cobble these systems together, make them work together more effectively. And another critical area, which is often overlooked, is change management and people. Introducing new technology often requires changes in workflows, business processes. Resistance from employees who may fear job loss or simply be reluctant to change can hinder the successful implementation of automation projects. And maintaining and updating these solutions poses ongoing challenges. As with anything, as business needs evolve, automation systems need to be regularly updated and maintained to ensure they continue to deliver value. And this requires continuous investment and attention. Together, Amplio and IBA Group combine our expertise to mitigate these challenges for our clients through strategic business process management and continual investment in talent, technology, and innovative business models. We have a practical guide based on this flywheel to successfully managing your digital transformation journey, which we'd be delighted to share. If you contact Dan or Melissa after the webinar, we'll be sure to send that to you for some reading if you'd like. And finally, looking ahead at the direction of business technology, in the future of business technology, we see three key trends, broadly speaking. We're not trying to predict the future, but this is just sort of the way we're sort of seeing some of our client business models develop. In the near term, we're looking at augmented human digital workforces where humans and machines collaborate side by side, playing each to their strengths. Humans tend to move up the value chain into more oversight and exception management roles where a bit more judgment is required, or the human interaction or creativity, although with generative AI, we're potentially seeing that eroded as well. But with this, businesses can generally operate 24/7 with minimal need for frontline staff beyond human interaction roles, maybe in a client relationship role. In the more medium term, we're looking at, as I mentioned at the head of this presentation, the fully autonomous enterprise. This is where every operation that can be automated will be automated, and these enterprises will be managed by a team of human coders and business strategy leaders with minimal need for a middle management. And in the longer term, we will potentially see things like decentralized autonomous organizations, which will be able to operate completely independently without any human input. Strategy and decision making will be fully codified, potentially on the blockchain. Automations will be automatically coded, managed, repaired by AI models who are able to self-learn, self-replicate. And because of that, there'll be very limited need for a traditional board of directors. So this is where we're potentially going to see completely independent autonomous organizations, which poses a real challenge for business as usual and society and governments all over the world, which would be an interesting one to watch. We don't know really where it's going to go. Nobody does. It's a very interesting conversation to have, and I'd love to have that conversation with anyone who would like to discuss further. But with that, in conclusion, I'd just like to say we've covered the evolution from RPA to intelligent automation, highlighted some of the components and benefits of the technologies, and potentially looked at the future direction of business technology. And with that, I'd just like to offer you all today an invite to take advantage of our exclusive offer, which is a complimentary pilot program. You can experience the transformative benefits of our advanced automation solutions firsthand with no commitment. Witness how these technologies can streamline your processes, enhance efficiency, and more importantly, drive significant business value. So don't miss this opportunity. Get in touch with one of us and see how this software and this platform can really supercharge your automation journey, coupled with our theoretical, practical framework. And if our robot or our solutions are not a perfect fit, we will cover all the expenses. So there's really no risk for anyone today. So finally, thank you all for joining me on this journey to a fully autonomous enterprise. I will now hand you over to my colleague Lucy, who will share some real life stories of our approach in action. Thank you very much for your time.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, dear. So, you know what? Approximately 5 years ago, there was the day of the birthday of our platform, because one of the top manager a global mobile operator came to our office and told absolutely that I'm ruined. I don't know what to do. You know what? I'm totally upset because one of our financial account sent to our VIP client the invoice with a sum just like 10 times bigger than it is. And it was done just because of the manual mistake, and the price of it, the whole reputation of the whole company. And you know what, my dear friends, that our global operator have some process automation projects within our mobile corporation, but for some subsidiaries, there is no budgets for this year. It just would be set only for the next year, probably, or in 5 years or something, blah, blah. And we don't have budgets for licenses. We don't have time to engage the personnel in trainings and certification. There are a lot of reports to do, the Christmas Eve next to. So please, please do something special, just not to ruin our financial year without any emergency, without any shock. And that time we have just the small pilot, internal pilot for our company, because that time we had been engaged in the projects with WorkFusion, UiPath, Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere, and just try to be in the stage, but not like the global presenter. And we saw the main issue that time that the whole costs for the clients in robotic process automation were not transparent. And a lot of business people who need automation, they didn't want to spend their time, their money for the processes to create something new in their companies. I mean, like the automation business. And what we do, we just provide our mobile operator, the business analyst, the architecture. They describe the whole processes. Our development team implemented all the process on our platform. And obviously that result was that instead of 6 hours, the accountants spend on the uploading, downloading a lot of data from one system to SAP and back and down. It took only 12 minutes for our bot, only 12 minutes for the whole scope of the invoices. And for finance department of mobile operator, no need to wait the uploading, no stops for SOX control, no manual task. And the main idea for them was that they left their working places just due to their schedule, not to be after midnight to their families, dogs, and so on and so forth. And the main case for IB group that time, we started that we creating something new, like the new model to make the busy people life much more easy. And up now, we are sure that all the processes we could do instead of you, like instead of businessmen. So this is our case probably for all the processes. And after that, we implemented approximately, I don't know, 500 or 600 processes. And mostly we engaged in the processes when we do with our hands all the processes, like outsourcing company, something like this. This is our case. Thank you so much. So probably I'm done with this case, and I will be very glad my colleague Sergey from technical department, who had been like the inspirer of the whole project, will show us some demo, and you could be aware that the whole picture very, very clear, usable. So Sergey, thank you if you will join.
Yep. Today, I'm going to show you a short demo of purchase order matching process, automated in SAP using Easy RPA platform. EasyRPA is a robotic process automation platform developed by IBA. EasyRPA robots can assist with tasks such as extracting, transferring, analyzing information, integrating systems, and generating reports. Built-in AI and human-in-the-loop models allow you to incorporate the power of artificial intelligence and human decision-making into automated business processes. Purchase order matching is the process of comparing costs on purchase order with the costs outlined in invoices submitted by vendors to confirm they match. For example, when you agree to pay for some products, your accounting department will draw up a purchase order. In return for their services, vendors submit the invoices outlining how much they require you to pay. Upon receiving the invoice, your AP department will then match all information on the PO and invoice, ensuring that it aligns and there are no discrepancies. If an error or exception is found, the invoice can be flagged immediately for attention. So let's assume that we have 2 invoices arrived to our mailbox and awaiting processing. That invoices could be of different formats, have different structure, but obviously have the same information within. And let's start our business process. In real life, you will never need to manually start the business process. It will be scheduled to run automatically for example, every 10 minutes. And it goes to our mailbox, downloads all emails and sends attachments to OCR model and then to classification to confirm that are invoices. That classification could be performed by artificial intelligence models or simply rule-based. Once we confirm that is an invoice, it is sent to information extraction model, which extracts structured information, invoice date, customer, amount. Here we can use traditional AI models, which work great with semi-structured documents, or modern large language models that allow you to extract information from unstructured text. With that information, the robot opens SAP, searches for the corresponding purchase order, and checks that the amount matches. In that example, the amount does not match, so the invoice is sent to human for investigation. But when we use AI, there is always a possibility for mistakes, and the automated process should anticipate this. Our second invoice demonstrates that case. In it, robot was not able to extract required field from the document, and the invoice is sent to human for help. So it arrives in a special place model called workspace, and human simply accepts the task, reads the issue that robot encounters, selects the date field, and selects the place in the document where the information is located, and submits the document. Once the document is submitted, robot continues to process it and will open SAP and perform purchase order matching. Actually, more than 70% of the development effort is spent on processing that error cases, and the overall quality of the automated business process is often defined by the quality of that error cases processing. So once we process that invoices, we generate the report and send it to process controllers. That report will contain information about each invoice which is processed and the issues robot found during processing. That's it. Thank you for attention.
Thank you, Sergey. So we're going to move to questions and answers. If you have any questions, I'll invite the panelists to join back up on the stage. And if you have any questions for the audience, for the panelists today from the audience, go ahead and send them in through that chat box on your right-hand side. I have a couple questions while we're waiting for some audience questions. Stuart, I'm interested. You got involved with this as a partner company, right? So, what was kind of the genesis of that, and what are kind of the typical business processes you recommend to start with?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, thanks, Dan. Great question. So I met IBA probably 6 or 7 years ago now. I was working in business process improvement. This is when we first started to look at automation. Prior to that, it was sort of simple sort of process re-engineering in manufacturing that I was working on. Met with IBA as we started to explore the ability to automate business processes on a bit more of a scale beyond simple Excel macros and things like that. And we realized that we sort of were two sides of the same coin, and very quickly sort of built a partnership and a friendship together. But really, as we worked together and as we delivered value to our clients, we sort of felt a little bit stuck with some of the platforms out there, either the interfaces where we needed to have people trained specifically for a certain user interface, which we had no control over how we operated it, and then we then need a team skilled in a whole suite of automation systems. Not only that, our clients and our ROI was being hamstrung by the license fees, as I mentioned. So together we started to think about what would the next generation of this look like, and the team, Sergey and his team at Easy RPA have worked wonders coming up with the Easy RPA platform, which, as I mentioned, has a universal language that we don't need to have specifically people trained in, and the innovative business model that Lucy and her team have come up with, which is able to offer it on a license-free basis, really does add to that ROI, especially as it compounds year on year. It really is a sort of a real game changer for anyone wishing to automate their business processes. In terms of which processes, we generally look for repetitive, rule-based, time-consuming processes, anything that's prone to human error. And this can be across all departments, really. Any business function, we're able to sort of seek out opportunities. But just quickly, without going into the detail of every function, if anybody from any function wants to talk further, more than happy to go really into the detail with you. But anything that's multiple mouse clicks, keyboard, data entry, filling in forms, copy and pasting information, logging in and out of software, screen switching, things like that. Any internet-based services, calculating, manipulating data, if you're data in databases, anything that's time-consuming, repetitive, labor-intensive, and any standardized data is helpful. But these days, we can, with generative AI, and make that sort of data machine readable, so we can start to use unstructured data. And if the software environment is consistent, is helpful. That would be useful for automation, but Easy RPA can still sort of go the API route, which I would prefer. That's always my preferred approach where possible, going the API route. It's much faster, it's less brittle. So yeah, anything that's multiple mouse clicks, resource intensive, labor intensive, start to look at those sorts of processes. Anything error prone is absolutely a good shout to start looking for. And yeah, these guys have created a world-class software here that people really do need to start considering using in their environment. And it doesn't matter what your environment looks like. If you already have automations or any different systems, this can sort of become a bit of an overarching system that can orchestrate all your different elements of your business. But yeah, could go on about this all day. Anybody wants to talk further, more than happy to get on a call or share some emails.
And Sergey, as Stuart mentioned, Gen AI, which obviously is a part of almost every conversation we have with members these days. Have you guys integrated Gen AI in the platform? If so, how can you talk a little bit about that?
Actually, we had a project that involved generating a proposal from a client freeform request. Initially, we attempted to extract all items from the unstructured request using conventional models, but as anticipated, we could not get satisfactory accuracy, which stood at around 50%. Subsequently, we employed LLM to extract information, and that results in significant increase of accuracy. We reached about 90% of accuracy. Well, there were some hidden obstacles, challenges during the process, and The most interesting was to match that free-form text items to corresponding units in company's catalog. To address this issue, we integrated a specialized matching engine based on Elasticsearch and incorporated learning capabilities and eventually achieved commendable outcomes.
Got it. Thank you. Okay, couple questions here. John wants to know, can you integrate with Microsoft Office?
Yes, of course.
That's a good one. Just yes. Yes, that's good. Not complicated at all. Usually the answer is it depends, right? So I like that one. Let's see. David wants to know, how do you comply with FedRAMP and do you comply with CJIS?
Sorry, I think it depends on the region because this mostly question probably for our clients because we don't use the data just like the GDPR rules or something like this. For example, in the regions of Gulf countries, we have just the local regulation. And the main issue just to be in the team with the local legals to understand the process, something like this. It's just about my region. Sorry.
Well, basically, for offices in Europe and EU, we comply. We must comply. The company overall for all our services we provide, we must comply with GPRS. For US area, we can basically we normally sign separate agreements with the clients to comply with their requirements.
Got it. Ravi wants to know, what's your experience in terms of kind of benefit realization for some of the tactical automation solutions? I guess this is kind of a when do I get the ROI kind of question. Stuart, you want to take a stab at that one?
Yeah. I mean, typically we see ROI less than 12 months, sometimes much, much faster than that. It generally depends on complexity and volumes of the process. Was there another part of that question, Dan, I may have missed?
No, I think it was just, people always ask us, right? Like, what's the kind of runway? How much do I have to invest, not just financially, but time wise, right? Until I start seeing the ROI on the program. And yeah. you mentioned before, the guarantee you guys have, which is great, but just curious as to, what does that runway typically look like?
So we look to get to value very quickly with the BPM, strategic BPM methodologies we use. We're seeking value. We're seeking those processes that are going to have an immediate impact on your business. We generally try to take a modular approach to get you to value quickly. We're not trying to do your entire business or your entire maybe end-to-end process. We'll start to look at the most impactful elements of that. We can start to get you to value in a matter of weeks.
Great. So, here's a question, right? If someone watching this is currently using another automation platform, is it kind of like I got to rip and replace it, or how do you guys kind of enhance their existing setup?
Well, adding the second automation platform obviously adds some additional burden on the infrastructure, but it has its advantages as well. So I can see the following. First of all, diversification. So different automation platforms may specialize in different tasks or processes, allowing the company to leverage the strengths of each platform for specific needs. Then we have another risk mitigation. By spreading automation capabilities across two platforms, the company can reduce the risk of dependency on a single platform and minimize the impact of potential failures or disruptions. And the last one is enhanced performance. When you have two automation platforms, you can easily distribute workloads effectively, preventing bottlenecks and ensuring smooth operations.
And actually, I would like to add that also there is business value when you add in our platform. For instance, if you have already a certain setup, RPA setup, and your budget became tight, then obviously our model, zero license cost, can make it easier for you in this condition to automate additional processes that probably you would think about automating otherwise.
Excuse me, may I add something and immediately answer the question of Jorn about the charging model?
You beat me to it, Lucy. I was just going to say there's a couple of questions here about how do you guys make money if there's no licensing
Yes,
costs? And
this is
what's
the main question
what's
then.
the
This
business
is the
model?
main.
What's the business
Okay,
model?
people who probably engaged in RPA approximately more than 5 years should remember the price list of the global vendors. It's about 100 pages with different strange um, strange notifying. So, and we see like the model, the modules of the budget. First, this is the budget for buying licenses. Then for prolongation these licenses. Then the budget for certification and training. Then the budget for creating the center of excellence internally in the client. Then the budget for implementation. So we decided that we are a very grown up company with a 30 years old tradition. And we decided that our monetizing would be very simple like outsource time and material. That's all. So we have our own rate card, just like the levels of our developers, solution architects, and usually we act in this way. For example, the client would be pleased to see the preliminary budget to understand the the catastrophe. And they gave us the process description, or we could just see the process live and make records. And then our specialists, like the business analyst and the architect, they create a special solution design, like architectural design, and try to estimate the obvious tasks, like the whole scope. This is very necessary to understand the assumptions and to put in the special list the assumptions. But the client always could, under the signing NDA, could see our rate card and could see the transparent calculation without any, I don't know, payments for studio. We have studio, but not this way. Without any payments for farm boards. It's just the pain of our developers, not clients. Sure. You know what? We have the model especially for developers. We called it not like the easy busy, but from developers to developers. And this model still has the prepaid packages of services. And for example, within even one client, we have the mixture of financial models because, for example, we provide them implementation, the open, like the clear processes, but still they have the regulations from the compliance department and they can't let us go to their processes, just the high security and something like this. In this case, we estimate the processes, suggest them to buy the special package. We train their own developers, internal team for free. It's just like the package included in the package. And then we just support the platform with our own hands. Just for example, but in our case, we mostly pay attention, not like the huge corporation segment who already bought a lot of licenses from other vendors and still try to understand how to utilize them. It's just time and material mode. That's all. Very simple and very transparent. That's all.
Great.
Thank you.
And Sergey, maybe you could talk about some of the timelines involved, right, in that process that Lucy kind of alluded to.
Yes, but talking about timeline is a little bit tricky because the timeline very well depends on the project complexity. So we have implemented projects in several weeks, and we had projects lasting for 9 months, maybe a year. But if we are talking about some average process, it usually takes from 1 to 3 months, depending on complexity.
Excuse me, Dan and Sergey. Excuse me, just a little adding. You know what? We are not just specializing for exactly robotic process automation, because we are just the service provider, everything except of blockchain, something like this. And the main idea how to be very quick and proactive is we use, for example, our specialists from different departments. If client has the technical surrounding connected with SAP tasks or mainframes or system created on Fortran language, we could manage with everything because we are huge integrator, like the IT service provider. That's all. All the time limitation we try to forecast. So this is the case when we create everything in-house, even additional tasks connecting with the surrounding of our clients.
Stuart, there's a question here from Pornima. She's asking if you guys have any use cases for the medical and healthcare industry. You're on mute.
Yes, absolutely. Always on mute. Yeah, certainly. So as is with most businesses, a lot of the business functions are common. And in terms of the healthcare industry, there's obviously some very specific business processes within that. A lot of them generally are quite data heavy and quite sensitive in terms of personal data. So we can absolutely start looking at any sort of data issues there or any research analysis. And the great thing with Easy RPA is it isn't just RPA, as Lucy said. There are machine learning and generative AI modules there that we can start to take unstructured data into machine readable formats. We can then use the machine learning module to start to analyze that data, provide some predictions or insights off the back of that data, maybe spot some trends that maybe we couldn't do as humans, or take us too long to do as humans. So absolutely, there's ability to go sort of domain specific and customize the modules within Easy RPA to a specific industry. And if there's any further conversation we need to have about that, we can go into a domain specific conversation.
Yeah, thank you, Stuart. And you know what, just some addition. Up now, we're engaged in the very complicated project for the Ministry of Health in one of the Gulf countries. It's like specific with the local languages, Arabic language and English, and the mixture. And you know what, that approximately 4 months, and we are very happy with the steps because our tools recognizing even the unusual languages as far. So yeah, we are.
Sergey, there's a few questions here about whether you guys can work with mainframes, AS400, and mainframe apps.
Yes, yes, we can. And I think Stuart already answered that question. But it's better to say it aloud.
Yeah, there's a few people reaching out about that. So good to know.
I can add, sorry, Dan, I can add that with mainframe, we have very long history. We basically started with mainframe from the beginning, and one of the rare companies in Europe and maybe in the world who are keeping mainframe specialists and developing and integrating new technologies in mainframe. So no problem with mainframe at all. Sorry, go ahead.
So I'm curious to get your thoughts, Sergey, on just the AI question around jobs. What's your opinion on that? What are you advising your clients, and what do you advise companies do to kind of help employees with the change management?
Well, obviously, automation and artificial intelligence will influence jobs, and I read some research that about 75% of employees worry about their jobs related to losing them to artificial intelligence, automation, and things like that. And yeah, it's true, there will be some changes. And some jobs will be taken by machines, and by those will be mostly repetitive, mundane jobs. And people will be able to do some more creative jobs, like developing these AI tools, managing these AI tools, and increased efficiency and productivity also will replace some jobs. But people will be able to do tasks again more valuable for the company. And I think it should be an effort from both sides, from employee and from the company. Company should provide possibilities for reskilling and upskilling. For instance, cooperate with educational institutions, sign up for like online educational platforms at least. And then I would say very important to manage communication, to be very transparent about what you are doing and why you're doing that, and about all these implementations and what happens to your job. And then basically promote innovation and creativity in the company, encourage employees to try new tools, try these artificial intelligent technologies. At the end, we should come to the situation where we'll be working together with AI. And there are different opinions. There is opinion that we'll all be unemployed. It's one extreme. And there is another opinion that all will be fine and will just be more productive. And I incline to agree with this more optimistic version. It's not a fast technology revolution in human history. And I think with appropriate effort from both employees and from employers, we will be just fine.
Stuart, in the minute or so we've got left, what's your sense as far as urgency around adopting these technologies? Why should people not just kind of sit back and wait?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. It's not really one of those where we can take a wait and see approach. The technology's moving, the development's moving exponentially fast, and once somebody gets a head start on that, it's impossible to catch up. It's absolutely a business imperative to act now. In fact, we should have probably acted yesterday. The best time to plant a tree is now, or the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So it really is a risk of falling behind if we don't make a start, at least exploring how our business is going to look in the future. Really just start with how you see your business remaining competitive, what your business is going to look like in the fully autonomous world. So yeah, absolutely recommend proactive engagement with intelligent automation as soon as you can, really.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those things where people they plan to wait a few months, it becomes a few years, and then it becomes a blockbuster story, as they say, right? So, well, listen, thank you all so much. Appreciate your time. If you want more information on IBA Group or just want to schedule a free briefing with one of our subject matter experts in this area, go to irpaai.com/IBA. IBA is an approved IRPA AI vendor. And if there's anything else we can do to help, please let my team know. Thanks again to IBA Group for sponsoring today's session. and take care, everybody.
Thanks, Dan.